Oh yeah, welcome back to the DaVinci Resolve tutorial, and today we are talking about project settings in DaVinci Resolve. So right away, without further delay, let's just open the project that we previously had, and the project was DaVinci Resolve tutorials. So double click and open it, and once we are there, we see that we have not, we don't even have a single clip imported, because we agreed that we don't want to import any single clip. So first and foremost, what you need to do to get up and running with your DaVinci Resolve is to set up what you call project settings, which is crucial because you want your workflow to be very smooth and you don't want your videos to be lagging or dragging when you are playing them in the timeline when you are editing. It's something very, very boring. So now let's do this. When you come over here at the corner left, upper left, if you click under DaVinci Resolve over here, you see something like DaVinci Resolve, quit DaVinci Resolve. It is also encouraged to, whenever you are closing your DaVinci Resolve, you always click quit over here instead of closing over here. Why? Because here it is basically kind of makes it quit faster. So over here, once you come, you need to click on preferences. Once you click on preferences, you are able to come to this area where you actually set some of the things in your project settings that will be able to make sure that DaVinci Resolve is able to perform well. And the system, we want to start with the memory and GPU. This is how DaVinci Resolve is able to use your graphics card. I have done this previously, so DaVinci Resolve is already configured for me, but I want to demonstrate with you to show so that you'll be able to see. So under here on limit fusion memory cache to 2 gig, just leave it the way it is. And under GPU processing mode over here, you just want, I believe on yours it is click auto is checked. I need you to deselect auto over here, and under GPU selection I need you to deselect auto as well, and come under here and choose your graphics card. So right now I'm using GeForce GTX 1054 gig. This is the one that I'm using, and you have to check your graphics card over here to make sure that it's checked. And before you proceed to go and click save, you need to come under media storage. Under media storage, you need to make sure that your media is stored in a fast drive. If you don't have fast drives like SSD hard drives and so forth, make sure that all of your media storage is stored relatively in the C drive. The hard drive that has your operating system is the one that is the C drive. So for example, if I'm to come over here in mine, this is my C drive. This is where most of my media is stored because I want DaVinci Resolve to cope faster. However, sometimes I depending on the project that I'm doing, I tend to put it in D and so forth. But in many cases, try to make sure that things that are not necessary, you move them to another drive, or if you have got much space, do that and put them in not in the C drive. All right, so that you are able to work faster. From there, you can see that the hard drive that is added over here is the one which is C drive. And right now you can also add other drives. You can click add and come, maybe if I say this one, and I can say Infinity Health, where I have some of the media files, I can say select. I can also add some other medias, so you can also do that. Then from there, you need to come under decode options. And the decode options over here, you don't have a lot of things to change. Just leave it as it is, the way it is. And over here under video and audio, over here you need to actually come under here. Say for instance your sound is not coming out. This is where you normally do the configurations, but normally DaVinci Resolve is able to detect your headphones or your speakers. Unless otherwise, if you do this, for example, you disconnect your speakers or you disconnect your headphones and you open DaVinci Resolve. You try to connect your headphones. Once DaVinci Resolve is already open, you may not hear any sound. So you need to close DaVinci Resolve, then you put your headphones or you put your speakers, then you open DaVinci Resolve and you are able to hear the sound. So this is one of the tips that you may need to do if you have any challenges in terms of sound, hearing sound in DaVinci Resolve. But otherwise, everything will be automatically detected and you'll be able to go. Then this one, if you've got any video plugins that you want to use, you can be able to use them. You will be able to see them over here in DaVinci Resolve, and even audio plugins, you are able to see them. As you can see, the Axonos that I'm using, I'm going to talk about it later on when I'm going to do a video on audio processing or audio production in DaVinci Resolve. But for now, just know that this is a third-party software that I installed in DaVinci Resolve, and from here, and the control panels, we don't want to talk about much about this one. Here, internet accounts, you are able to connect with your YouTube channel and actually upload your videos direct to YouTube after editing without exporting them, or Vimeo or Twitter, or if you are using Frame.io. Okay, now you just sign in to the account and put your username and password. You link DaVinci Resolve to your account, and from there we want to come under user over here. In the project save, you need to click live save so that DaVinci Resolve is able to save automatically as you are editing, so that if it happens to crash or if electricity happens to cut, you have your work already saved through the live save. Once you have done what you have done and you have configured, just click save, and DaVinci Resolve will say every changes that you have made will be saved, will be made in the next opening when you restart DaVinci Resolve. Just click OK. Now let's go ahead and come to playback over here. Under playback, I want you to just tweak over here, use optimized media if available. You need this one to be checked as it is on mine like this. You need it to be checked, and on use prox media if available, you need it to be checked, because this one will make your workflow to be smoother when you are actually editing. And all these things, they have to do with the speeding up your workflow. And timeline prox mode, you need to put it according to your system. You need to put it either on half resolution or quarter resolution. Normally, I have put it on half resolution because I believe it's comfortable with me, with my graphics card and my system. And from there, you need to come under render cache. You need to choose it to be on smart, not user. That is to say, you need it to automatically detect if it has to render, and you don't need to always go back and do that manually. So you need it to be on smart render. From there, you fusion memory cache, you may need to put it on auto over here, and over here delete render cache, delete all unused. You need to check delete all unused so that it's able to get rid of all the unused video clips which have been cached, so that your workflow will be actually able to go very well. Going forward, we need to come to the bottom right. You need to click on this icon over here, and this is where we need to do a lot of things. The first thing is here we have got what we call presets. The presets, I will talk about them once we are done setting everything over here. So master settings, you need to talk about timeline resolution. If your system is very slow and if your system is small, if you don't have more than a 6 gig graphics card, please make sure that you are editing using 1920 by 1080. Don't go for all these fancy things like the big things like if I scroll down over here, you can see 4K resolution, 2K resolution, and so forth. they are not important for you for now, unless if you have a strong computer. And in many cases, when you're editing your video, you see that if you want that video to be viewed on YouTube and social media, Facebook and so forth, normally those platforms and many people who are viewing the videos, they normally use mobile phones. It's normally 1920 by 1080 going down, so you just need it to be on that resolution. Okay, and over here you need to actually use the normal frame rate 23.976, the cinema standard. Over here you need it to remain under the video format that you want to be able to be editing. You need it to be just on 1920 by 1080, which is 23 frames per second, 23.976. And you may not understand what this is, but this is the industry standard which is used in most cinemas for video production. And you understand it later when you are going. You can also Google if you want to understand much about that one. And from there, you don't want to choose any of these formats. So just stick to this one. If you have chosen it to be 1920 by 1080, go ahead and choose this one. But if you have chosen something like 2K over here, you can also go ahead and choose something like this over here, like we have got 2K, or you can choose Ultra HD over here, 23.976. For now, for me, I just leave it over there. And going down over here, you need to look at things like this. When you look at your video data level, you need to choose it to video. Don't choose full resolution over here. And down here, you need to choose your bitrate to be either 10. It doesn't actually make a lot of impact, but normally when you're using a camera that DSLR cameras that shoot at 1920 by 1080, your bitrate is normally at 8 bitrate, so you just leave it there. And over here you just leave it at monitor scale, just use it and leave it at basic. Prox media resolution, I want it to just you choose automatically. That is to say, it will detect the resolution which I have chosen up there. But if you have chosen a different one, maybe you want to choose your playback to be at quarter resolution, half resolution, or you want it to be original, the resolution that you have chosen up there, there is no problem. But for me, I just choose it to use automatically. And under here, the format, you need your format to be going together with the one that you have chosen up there. So that is to say, if you have chosen something like 2K going onwards, you need to leave it either at high quality or at 444 over here. But for me, I just want to use it just at high quality, not a high quality like over here. So I just choose high quality and I to leave it at automatically. To choose automatically, and over here I also go ahead to choose high quality, and over here I go ahead to choose high quality because I'm taking 1920 by 1080. And over here enable background catching to be, I just want it to be at least down to 2 seconds, and over here I want it to be I want to leave these ones the way they are, and over here I want to choose automatic catch effects in user mode. I just want it to happen like that. Just leave it to default the way it is. And from there, prox generation location, this simply means that when you are editing your videos and your software is catching up files so that you'll be able to have a good playback, where do you want the location? Where do you want your files to be located? So automatically it will be actually storing them under app data and in temporal files over there. So it depends with where you want, but if you have got another hard drive which you think you want that one to go and that hard drive is fast, you can come back and choose the hard drive and click select and go ahead with that. For me, as I have said, my system is not that as very, I don't have a very fast hard drive, so I want everything to be generated in the C drive where it is, and that is why I'm leaving everything the way it is over here. I don't want to change anything. But if you have got a hard drive which is fast, just choose it and let everything be stored over there. You see over here under mine, everything is the cache files are in the videos where I'm actually over here, and this is where they are, and the gallery and so forth. And once I'm done with editing a particular video and I have exported and I don't have to come back to it, I can simply come back to this space and Control A and delete all these things under gallery over here. As you can see, they are here under gallery. I can just come over here, I delete all these cached files. Over here, you need to leave it to nearest, because sometimes you need to make your own decisions when you are editing in the timeline. So real-time process, you may not understand this, but we are going to talk about it during the editing process, what it really means, and you're going to understand it. But for now, leave it where it is right away. And from there, let's go leave these ones where they are and come to image scaling. You need it to be sharper, unless otherwise you can see some jagged edges when you are editing your videos. You need to change it maybe to be smoother, but for now you need to leave it over there. And the interlace quality, just leave it at normal, and it will be able to detect things on its own. And from there we come to color management. How do you want your color to be? Just leave DaVinci Resolve YRGB, and from there I just want you to change one thing down here, which is make broadcast safe. That is to say, when you are editing your colors or doing color correction and grading, whenever you are going to play your video on different platforms, maybe on a phone, on a television, on whatever platform or device that you are using, your quality don't vary from one video or from one device to another, because you have actually made it to be broadcast safe. So this is very important. Over here on RAW, you just need to, normally I use a Canon camera, so I just choose Canon RAW, and the full resolution, I just want it to be the way it is, and I don't want to change any resolution over here because it's simply 1920 by 1080, so I don't want to change anything. And the playback quality, you can see that is 1920 by 1080. I don't need to change anything. Maybe you feel like you need to change it to the resolution that you have chosen over there and the master settings. You can go ahead and do that, but for me, I'm comfortable with those resolutions. And once that is done, you don't need to change much of the things from here. Now what you do now is to come over here and click save. You can also go ahead and say save as. You can actually give a name to this one and say my standard edit preset. You click OK over here. So we have created a new preset here, and you can right click and say save as user default configuration to make sure that whenever you open up your DaVinci Resolve, you don't have to come back over here and say edit and configure these settings again. You simply actually use this one as your default editing preset, so that whenever you come over here, you are free to get going and started. So this is all it is to do with DaVinci Resolve project configurations or project settings, so that you get up and running effectively and efficiently. So thank you very much for watching this one, and until next time, thank you, goodbye. Subscribe and like, and go ahead and share the video.